Well, hello, that's me again. Today is March 1st, 2024, and it's Friday. I would want to say that it's Happy Friday. It is not. And I want to start with the horrifying news. I have no other words for this. This is the atrocity of the unimaginable scale. And even CNN reports that carnage at Gaza food aid site amid Israeli gunfire. Here's what we know. They talked today about it, but at least 112 people were killed and 760 injured in an incident where Israel Defense Forces troops used live fire as hungry and desperate Palestinian civilians were gathering around food aid trucks. You know what? How to put it politely? I have no words. And the question is that it's not only Israel. We already know everything we need to know about Israel. For example, just to give you a little bit of the insight, Oleg Matveevich, the member of the Russian State Duma, he posted it, but I'm pretty sure it's the fact. You can look it up. That actually, because Russia finally decided to put their foot down, so to speak, on the issue of genocide of Palestinians by Israel, he stated that they removed from Yad Vashem, the museum of the or memorial of Holocaust, all those references to Banderites, who actually slaughtered hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of Jews on the former Soviet Union. There you go. This is everything you need to know about this Holocaust industry in the United States, because it's not even reported. This is all about how Israel feels about countries which finally tell Israel to its face that what it commits is a war crime and crimes against humanity. And you can see yourself what happens. And this is probably, sadly, not the last one. But the question comes now, which comes up now, is that it is the United States which supports this type of the activities by Israel. And you know what? This is precisely the reason why the United States status and standing is completely destroyed for the rest of the world as any kind of the moral force. There is no morality. What is happening is just absolutely unprecedented in the United States because of Israel, because United States is Israel occupied territory. United States completely isolated itself. And we can thank this not only the Israeli government or American Israeli Public Action Committee or whatever, the Cooperation Committee, APAC, or evangelicals. Don't forget those, fundamentalist so-called Christians, Protestants who are into this whole Israel thing. And their actually loyalties are not with the United States or Americans. Their loyalties with Israel. And the way the Scofield Bible describes the end of times or rapture, whatever the hell they believe in. There you go. And this is unprecedented. This is absolute genocide, and we cannot allow this happen anymore. We need to start talking about it more and more and more, because it has to stop. So now, if that hasn't been enough, then of course we have the thing which I need to kind of debunk. Daily Mail, well, it's a tabloid, all right? What do you expect from these people? And they basically provide all kinds of rumors and hearsays and what have you. And they say that, oh yeah, Britain cash-strapped Navy may be forced to sell off its £3.5 billion aircraft carrier, the HMS Prince of Wales, amid funding issues. The future of Britain's second aircraft carrier is under threat due to funding issues, Naval sources have claimed. And so they allegedly want money to the rise in defense spending, what have you, because obviously the United Kingdom is absolutely cash-strapped and its economy is a joke, really. So, but Obviously, Royal Navy came out today, went basically debunking this, saying no, there's no such thing. And I totally believe them in this respect, because you know what, it will be humiliation of such an unimaginable scale to already a humiliated British, especially when you listen to what this the guy Tony Radakin, the admiral, the guy is a lawyer actually. How the hell he was able to be a navigation officer without proper preparation, I don't know, but that's the way the military officers are prepared nowadays in United Kingdom. So he is a sir, and he is a, you know, this NATO guy who, you know, prides himself on allegedly planning those strikes by the surface unmanned vehicles. Well, basically boats. That's what they are, boats with the with explosives on the couple of Russian ships. Couple of those, not couple of Russian ships. They try to attack them all the time, and it is a couple of times they succeeded in damaging or sinking one of the ships. So, but it's pretty much the level of the expertise of the modern British Navy. And the guy talks about that, you know what, if Russia wants to fight NATO, it's going to be outnumbered and whatever. So the guy, again, listen, nothing wrong with the profession of lawyer, make no mistake. It's a highly the craft which requires highly qualified people, but it's not military, especially not navy. And but yet this guy talks this, you know, trash talk, the same as we have now this well, pretty much insane, I don't know what is going on there, but France is going just bananas. And now we have this guy, former French Prime Minister Walls, did not rule out the possibility of a third world war. We need to tell the truth to the French. A third world war is not impossible. The only thing which is possible for France is a third world. This is where France is going, but yeah, it's nobody says that it's not impossible. There is always the probability of it, but what he says further is one way or another we need to prepare for it. He said, according to Valls, a Russian victory in the Ukrainian conflict would be tantamount to a strategic, military, political and moral defeat for Europe and the West. It already happened, actually. It's just a matter of how it is being formalized, as I already stating, as I state constantly. And of course, we have, and again, make no mistake, I do not want to have all those, you know, pathetic jokes, really, about the state of the health of Mr. Austin. God bless his soul. Let him actually recover from his horrible disease, because it is very hard on any man. But now Mr. Austin is evidently, who lives in the alternative universe, says that, you know, that Maria Zakharova had to also respond to it. And he stated, Mr. Austin, that there is a possible war between Russia and NATO. And the reason he says that the Pentagon chief expressed his opinion at a hearing in the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Armed Services. Frankly, I believe that if Ukraine falls, NATO will be at war with Russia, he said. Well, Maria Zakharova reacted to this. The words of Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin about possible war between Russia and NATO show that Washington is the aggressor, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on her Telegram channel. But why are they going bananas like this? Well, very simple, because what is happening right now, and how to put it politely, it's just, it's a collapse of the front by armed forces of Ukraine. So the question now, how Mr. Austin or these guys from Paris want to fight the Third World War with Russia. With what? Do they want all those blue hair, pierced, tattooed guys who cannot find their whatever genitalia properly to send to fight Russia? Good luck. Obviously, there is no any serious logistical or sustainability issue which they can resolve. So, and then of course we have the United States, which is thinking that it can fight this war. It cannot. It cannot, not only because of the size or the what I call TOE, Table of Organization and Equipment, which is obsolete. It is 1990s Table of Operation of Equipment designed for the war of 1990s, which is projection of force against really grossly inferior enemies. So they want to go and deal with Russia. Good luck with that. But I am on the record. You probably can go back and listen to what General Jacques Beau, pardon me, Colonel Jacques Beau and me spoke yesterday. You can see this video on my channel. But there is a larger issue here, and this is the issue which I want to stress. There is something like of the collective madness which is happening now in the combined West, and I will explain to you why it is happening. Here's we have other guys. These are the new ones. Yeah, these are newcomers. Ukraine free to attack Russian territory. US NATO member. These larger countries, which have among other things provided these long-range missile systems, of course, they also have a say in how they can be used. And this was the guy, the defense minister of Finland, Antti Hakanen, who stated this, and so has not set such, obviously Finland has not such restrictions, and Ukraine has the right to use these weapons against military targets also on Russian soil. So, and the question is, and what kind of weapons could Finland provide? Finland doesn't own or doesn't produce something which is similar to the standoff weapon, such as Scalp or Storm Shadow, which incidentally, actually, they tried to attack Crimean Bridge today. And they launched 2 salvos, one of the, of course, the fake targets, and then of course 12 Storm Shadows. All of them have been intercepted, shot down by Russian air defense. And that's what also brings us to this, what Margarita Simonyan of Russia Today published. It's about those German officers discussing how they want to blow up the Crimean Bridge. Well, I mean, good luck trying to do this, but it is all about those cowards, because they are cowards, be them all those military people in UK or Germany, because they can fight only behind the backs of the civilians. This is why they use the basically horrendous attrition of the cannon fodder of the armed forces of Ukraine, because obviously they don't have, first, they don't have means. And then, of course, they have no gonads. And all this talk about sending troops to Russia, well, good luck with that, and see how the Elysee Palace will be blown up if they really try to do something like this. And it's not only that. I mean, the question is, Russia will eat those contingents, whatever they send there, alive. By the way, apart from those Storm Shadows, evidently another 2 Abrams already went up in flames today. And I'm not showing you the photos. I do have those photos of this amphibious assault, group which tried to land in Kherson area yesterday. Well, there were 6 boats filled with all those special forces. Well, 5 of those boats are filled now with corpses, pardon me for saying this, of those Ukrainian special forces, and maybe some, British or whatever, European, volunteers, quote unquote, have been there. I don't know, they are sorting this out, but obviously this assault have been prevented with the, practically everybody killed. 1 boat was able to take off, and I don't know where they are now. They are being looked at or looked for by Russian forces. So that's another, so to speak, senseless sacrifice of the human meat, literally. And you have to understand, as I already stated, that combined West have no compunction of killing, to the last Ukrainian. That's what they're trying to do. These people are sociopaths primarily, and when you look at them and how they think and how they plan things, they cannot do anything. They really don't think. They operate on the emotion, on the impulses. They think about themselves as some great whatever they are. They are in reality very mediocre at best people, but this is, Western elite, including military one. And that brings us to the other thing. and which is very interesting. Here it is. We have General Cotton. General Cotton is the head of the U.S. Strategic Command. And he spoke yesterday. The U.S. Department of Defense would like Russia to return to negotiations on strategic stability, said the head of the U.S. Strategic Command, STRATCOM General Anthony Cotton. And he's talking about, the general was asked about the situation around the negotiations with Russian Federation on the Russian-American Treaty on measures for further reduction and limitation of strategic offensive arms, START, strategic stability and nuclear arms control. To this, he replied that he was a supporter of the agreement, and this is reported by TASS. He added he would like China to take a step forward and want to hold arms control talks with the United States. Cotton would also like Russia to return to these negotiations, and as he said, at the same time, the general called himself a realist who understands that it may or may not happen. Well, the guy is definitely not stupid, let me put it this way. There are many smart people still, in the US military. It is the problem, obviously, that they usually seldom talk or raise their voice. But let me show you something. It is the mission statement from yesterday from the same STRATCOM. You can go, Strategic Command, and you can go to their website and look it up. And here it is. This is the statement of Anthony J. Cotton, Commander, United States Strategic Command, before the United States Senate Committee on Armed Services. This is what he was talking about, and this is how Russian media reported it properly, duly. But here comes this very interesting issue when they assess Russia. And this is the key point, so to speak, what I'm trying to discuss. When they talk about Russian Federation and, of course, as they say, unprovoked, invasion of Ukraine and blah, 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 they suddenly begin to give their, so to speak, narrative about Russia. And this is not a wrong narrative. This is correct narrative, especially as it goes to the actually strategic weapon systems. And here they talks about Sarmat, obviously, missile. He talks about that additionally Russia continues to field new Severodvinsk-class nuclear-powered cruise missile submarines, as well as Yuri Dolgoruki class SSBNs armed with the SS-N-32 Bulava sea-launched ballistic missile. And here comes this thingy, which I've been talking about for years, and what many people didn't understand at that time, including in American military. But look at this. Beyond Russia's traditional strategic triad, it is expanding and modernizing its nuclear options. This includes nuclear-capable hypersonic systems such as Zircon land attack cruise missile and Kinzhal air-launched ballistic missile, the last of which Russia has employed frequently against Ukraine in a conventional role. These hypersonic systems add diversity and flexibility to Russia's nuclear arsenal and complement its stockpile of their theater nuclear weapons. Why it is important and why I constantly have to stress about basically when debunking, so to speak, those talks and ideas and ideations about United States somehow getting involved on the European theater. The question here is that not only Kinzhal is a great anti-shipping missile, but it is this thingy which has been confirmed now by none other than Mr. Putin himself. Here it is. While speaking to the Federal Assembly, Mr. Putin stressed that hypersonic weapons promised 6 years ago now in service. Yes, not only they are in service, they are being used. And he says, Russian troops have already used the Kinzhal and Zircon hypersonic missiles in combat, hitting high-value Ukrainian military targets, Putin said in an address to the Federal Assembly. Why the combat use of Zircon and evidently very successful use of Zircon 3M22 missile is so important? Let me explain why it is so important and why it makes, no matter what United States primarily does with the European theater, it's going to be a catastrophe, military catastrophe, especially with the defeat of the carrier-centric American U.S. Navy, which is still, I mean, it's a grand Navy, but it's primarily, with the exception of its submarine force, which is still world-class, albeit its technical readiness is declining dramatically. The surface fleet of the United States Navy is basically, how to put it, like sitting ducks. And here it is why. As you can see yourself, it was confirmed by none other than, well, they were officially confirmed, but then, of course, on the 27th February 2022, when the commander of the frigate Admiral Fleet of the Soviet Union, Gorshkov, Captain First Rank Igor Krochmal, said that the appearance of the hypersonic missile is one of the secret parameters. And here it is. The Zircon surface-based hypersonic missile has a range of up to 1,500 kilometers. This is what the Captain First Rank Igor Krochmal said to Russia One channel. Shooting will be carried out at the distances, as he already stated, and they did, of 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers. If we take 1,000 kilometers and divide by the speed of Mach 9, we get a flight time of 580 to 620 seconds, he said, anticipating the launch of the rocket, the missile. And yeah, one of the missile tests, which was launched from the White Sea in the north of Russia, was at the range of 1,000 plus kilometers. How plus, we don't know, but we know it's above that. And what it means, let me show you what it means graphically, just to demonstrate. Very simple graphics. Here is the Crimea. Here's Crimea. And we already know that Zircon was used in the combat role. As you can see yourself, this is 926 miles, or around 1,500 kilometers. And this is a single launcher of Zircon in Crimea area. This is what it covers. As you can see yourself, it covers all of the eastern Mediterranean and parts of this middle part of the Mediterranean Sea. And of course, it covers everything up to Estonia, covering Estonia. Why this is important? Well, how to put politely. The carriers of 3M22 Zircon, of course, this Bastion, land ground-based system, which before they're using Zircon, was using the P-8 Onyx missiles, also supersonic anti-shipping missiles. And of course, you can deduct by now, or probably discern, that the other carriers of the 3M22 Zircon are, of course, the ships of the Black Sea Fleet. Any ship which has 3S-14 vertical launch system. So what it means? It means that in the real war, well, as I already stated, move any ship with these missiles anywhere, and you have a colossal area covered and provided exact targeting with a missile which flies up to Mach 10. The newest version, they say it's Mach 13 plus, and they say it's going to be 2,500 kilometers. Good luck intercepting that. They have absolutely no system, air defense system, not that they were good to start with, which is capable of intercepting anything. And of course, after performance of the German frigate Hessen, which shot at some target, they thought it was Houthis. Somebody says it could have been actually Israeli, which would probably try to involve West more into this whole mess in the in Bab el-Mandeb Strait. But those SM-2s, they fell. They didn't even reach their target. So we're looking at the, well, technological catastrophe for the combined West. And if you talk about Zircon, as I already stated, the rules of the naval warfare changed, period. Once Russians deploy now Zircon at the nuclear submarines of the Yasin class, Project 885, it's over. It's over. It's just, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to use your strategic lift or what is known as the preposition forces, you will be, you know what, detected, tracked, the targeting will be developed, and you will be basically sunk, killed. So that means you will be able to provide this sustainability option for your forces. In this particular case, what do you have? You have absolutely impotent European militaries. They are absolutely it is lousy leadership there. Then you have, of course, the United States, which essentially is being now cut off in the case of real serious war from the European theater of operations. Simple as that. And it doesn't matter how many aircraft carriers they will send there. And because, well, in the real war, they will be sunk. And nothing could be done about it. Remarkably, that even the carrier-borne aviation, which is the early warning aviation, such as Hawkeye, this is not there. They will not be able to see the launch of those missiles. So there you go, because it's beyond their range and the range of their radar. So, and this is just the start of it. And that brings us to this issue of that Judge Napolitano talked to Jeffrey Sachs, and it was yesterday. And Professor Jeffrey Sachs, talked about that the U.S. misunderstands Russia, and which is correct. But there was a great comment in the commentary section to this video. Somebody wrote, and I agree completely, it's not misunderstanding. They simply do not know Russia. They just literally have no clue what they are dealing with. I cannot even, how to put it politely, it's the depth of ignorance is absolutely astounding. And judging by their latest statements and latest situation at the front, and how Russians basically decimated their Donetsk axis for armed forces of Ukraine, it's pretty much over. It's been over for a while now. It was just a matter how to formalize this thing. And Minister John Mearsheimer says that, if it's going to be a victory, it's going to be ugly victory. I don't know what he means by that. I really don't know. I don't know all those, semantic games about this. And I applaud him. Make no mistake. I applaud George Mearsheimer to being, in some sense realist. But I also understand that he doesn't understand what is this war about and how it is being fought. It is already ugly. And any victory in war is ugly. And we can discuss here, as I was discussing this morning with Kevork Almasyan and Mark Sleboda about this. Whatever it's going to be, there will be no settlement. There will be simply Russian steamroller just rolling over Kyiv regime. And that will be it. If NATO wants to send forces, good luck. They all will be annihilated. And that will create a political crisis in already torn apart Europe, which is already it's circling the drain. I understand many Europeans don't want to hear this, but this is what it is. And guys, you know what? Again, make no mistake, I really don't blame, so to speak, directly. But again, you have been content with it, especially Germans who were so-called locomotive of the European economy. And, well, the time to pay the price has come. It is here and it is happening. And this is what I wanted to tell you today about this whole situation. And as always, those who like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. And those who can afford, please support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee too. I would really appreciate this. And I want to express my profound gratitude to my wonderful patrons. Thank you very much. Without your support, I wouldn't be doing this. Well, have nice Friday and hopefully decent weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.